think the market, there's like a rush to be an advocate in a testimony that I see in the culture that I don't find that to be productive. Because how can you really be, if you're a rookie, you should, in my opinion at least, if you're a rookie and you're just out learning this, why would you be trying to be an advocate instead of just focusing on the therapy? But I do know that some people say teaching and sharing your testimony helps people as well. But what are your thoughts on, do you think it's something that a person should keep to themselves privately, or case by case, or?
Well, what we've seen, especially in our community, is some people coming forward have almost like given us permission to pursue help. So, for example, I think of Charlemagne from the Breakfast Club. Forward, he wrote his book, and I think it was a powerful. I'm looking for the word booster. Like it was a great booster, a great surge, to give people permission. Here you have a black man, a prominent black man, saying, "Yo, man, I'm doing this for myself." But to your point, you really got the sense with him that it wasn't about optics. It wasn't about trying to be trendy. It was about, found something, I found a benefit that I sincerely want to make you aware of. And I have a platform and I'm going to use it responsibly. I just see upside with that. So I don't necessarily know people's motives when they are doing that, but if it's just for optics, yeah, I could see how that would distract from healing. But if the goal is in fact to disrupt and eradicate the myth, if the goal is to obliterate the stigma, then I can see some usefulness. Now that said, though, I would still add the caution that you are entitled to your privacy. You're entitled to it. You don't have to, just go out there and put it forward and feel like you're obligated to do that, because sometimes the world isn't fair. We do live in a judgmental society, and we're seeing people misuse information, and it can come back and bite you, per se. So I'm not trying to champion a fear-based mindset, but yet again, I want to champion you are permitted to, as you just said, Ray, Rob, my apologies, to focus on your healing.
Yeah, I received that, but at the same time, and this is why I'm glad I was able to speak to you, because I do receive your wisdom, and you are correct. I didn't think about it from that perspective, but like a person like a Charlemagne, if we don't have almost everything that I've done in life, I had someone that I saw that looked like me had done it first. Even when I lived downtown in the high rise, I saw a brother that I knew who lived there, and it always permitted me to believe that it was possible. And whether on the corporate journey. So to your point, there is an importance in moving forward. Even me actually going to therapy, it wasn't until I saw brothers that were the representation of masculinity that I aligned with, in that side of it, that really made me feel a certain level of comfort with it. So I think I probably was looking at the issue too anecdotal, but we're looking at what's best for the community. I could see that, that does, I do think the right people, Charlemagne is an example of a right person. What led me to that place where I was more so, to be quiet, view was just in a spiritual sense. I've learned that one of the tricks of, what do you want to call it, a devil, a darkness, a vice, one of the slip ups that a person can fall into is thinking that they have a tighter grip on something than they do. And what I learned is when I think I have a tighter grip on something than I do, I start loosening up on my watchfulness. And my thought was, if you were doing those things, it may be a threat to you remaining watchful. And, James Allen, As a Man Thinketh, my favorite book, this quote I love, the key to maintaining any victory is watchfulness. So that was, the great Malcolm X said, I just want to be sincere, even when I'm wrong, I want to be sincerely wrong. And I think, so there was a sincerity in, my view. But again, I appreciate your wisdom, because that is an overarching point that, I say is, superior to my initial idea. So I thank you for that clarity on that.
There's a danger in complacency. Like what you're saying is, don't get complacent, because Rob, you do see some people who they've recovered from their illness and now they're launching a coaching practice based on that. And they haven't necessarily gone through the discipline and learned the spectrum of things you really should be aware of, so that when a person is coming into you, you're equipped to handle it. But they just feel like their recovery is enough of a license to now lead a movement, and had people come into them.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what you're talking about. Like, we do need to be careful. So that's more what I've seen. And dude, I'm not trying to say that, like, if you develop the commitment to develop expertise in an area, I'm not trying to clown that. But I just mean there at times can be hasty steps towards assuming a posture of guru and influence, and yet all the steps have not been taken to make sure that you're really truly qualified